We all saw the spikes in oil and gold prices last week. You also may have seen my video I put out talking about inflation going airborne and how there's going to be a lot of expansion in this conflict in the Middle East. Well, within a few days of putting that out, it's already gotten dramatically worse, and this is incredibly serious. It's a horrible situation that's gone from horrible to horrendous. Hezbollah in Lebanon and Israel are exchanging fire. I told you about how Israel's already taken out the two airports in Syria, Aleppo and Damascus, and they're exchanging fire. And Iran has now sent a message to Israel on Saturday, stressing that it does not want further escalation in the Hamas-Israel war, but that it will have to intervene if the Israeli operation in Gaza continues. The comments were, "Stop the Gaza attack or we'll release an earthquake." And of course, Israel's going to continue with their move against Gaza. So what does that mean? I told you if Iran gets into this, oil prices are going towards $200. And this isn't okay, I got to stop right there. This is not a thing about making profits. This is a horrible situation. I saw an interview with a 15-year-old boy who lives in Gaza, and he is in his fifth war. He's 15. What were you doing when you were 15? I was playing Pac-Man. Another U.S. aircraft carrier group has steamed to the eastern Mediterranean, so that makes two, plus the United Kingdom has one there. And the purpose, and as I say, is to cool the tensions, make sure that Iran doesn't get involved, make sure that Lebanon doesn't get involved. But I want to say this quote from Abraham Maslow about all the role players involved. I'm talking about United Kingdom, America, Iran, Israel. He says, if your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. Gold's going to spike further. And you guys know that most of my investments are in oil and gold. And this is the most awful way to make money. But I always say I'm just playing the cards I'm dealt. And there's lots of things you can do to help out. But I'm not ever going to, and I told you in a video about this before, I'm not going to tell you, here's how you help, here's how you donate. You figure it out. If you're going to help, figure it out and help. Whatever you can do. There's not a lot of options, but there's things you can do. You don't need me to tell you, here's the website where you can donate to help. You figure out what you're going to do. I always tell you, gold is nature's insurance, and it's also builds in value, and there's a risk premium, and there's a lot of conflicts breaking out. But oil is the big one, and that is going to increase dramatically. It's going to be tomorrow. You're going to see it. And that's based on, part of it is a risk premium. There's also the expectations of the expansion of the conflict and the actual expansion of the conflict itself and supply disruption concerns. If there's any strikes or attacks on Iran, there's going to be a huge effect on oil prices, of course. Plus a global expansion of the war. And when I say global, I mean there's going to be lone wolf terrorist acts in sympathy. It's great to see a lot of the people who are standing up for Palestine and supporting and protesting there. Like in London, there's millions of people making a point of, and it's great that there's a lot of focus on Palestine now. The world is seeing what those people have been going through for so long. But you're going to get some lone wolf terrorist attacks, like we saw a knife attack in France where one teacher died and two other people were wounded. They have arrested the perpetrator, but then also today there was the Louvre got shut down and Versailles, the Palace of Versailles got shut down from bomb threats. And there's a huge police presence in Toronto where they're guarding synagogues and things like that because there's going to be people who are going to do reprisal attacks. So you have to be so careful right now. The whole world is watching this thing. There's a lot of people who might try and do something that's not great. In Lebanon, Hezbollah has 150,000 rockets and a pretty serious military. And they're saying that if Israel keeps going on with Gaza, they're going to get involved. And if they get involved, that means America has to get involved or Israel's going to be in a lot of trouble. This is how wars become world wars. I told you this. And the stock market is not seeing this at all. They're not understanding what's about to happen. Most people, even you and I don't really truly get what's going to happen. And if Iran gets involved, as they say they're going to have to if Israel doesn't change course in Gaza, which they will not, that means oil prices spike significantly. Gold prices spike significantly. Inflationary pressures would spike significantly. As I told you, oil's in everything. And so if you buy something made with a whole bunch of pieces, it costs the company more. That's pushed through inflation. And then also to ship it to the store for you to buy it off the shelf, that's going to cost more. So the price gets put on your shoulders. It's going to drive inflation. It's already getting away from the Federal Reserve. And then on an even more significant situation if Iran gets involved. Say we do what Lindsey Graham is saying we should do and hit somewhere in Iran, take out their oil network. The point is, the first thing they're going to do, the most powerful move I told you, is to shut the Strait of Hormuz. That's going to send oil prices towards $200. Meanwhile, North Korea has sent 1,000 containers of weapons and munitions to Russia to use in the war in Ukraine. And in all of this, what is no one talking about? What's no one looking at right now? The most vulnerable thing is Taiwan. What a time for China to do whatever they want to do. Who's going to stop them now? People are busy. Militaries are busy. The same thing happened in World War II. If you don't think history repeats, then you're not paying attention. And the reason people aren't understanding how bad this could be. World War I was known as the war to end all wars. At that time, it was such a significant thing. They couldn't believe that there'd be more war after that. It was going to settle everything. Then comes along World War II. And then what's next? World War III. And what Einstein said was that I know not what weapons World War III will be fought with, but I know that World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Iran says it's going to be like an earthquake if Israel continues going into Gaza. Lebanon with Hezbollah, they're going to have to get involved because right now with Syria, sort of a tit for tat, you shot a rocket so it took out your airports kind of thing. It's not a full-blown conflict yet, but if it gets more serious, that would have to bring America into this war. World War II was 78 years ago. That's why nobody remembers to not go to war. I'm making this video special on a Sunday. I was planning my video for tomorrow. A bunch of stuff about the stock market. I don't care about that right now. I want to try and express to you guys that this is so much more serious than anyone is realizing, it seems like to me. And this next week is going to be so pivotal, but also even watch tomorrow what happens to the price of gold and oil as soon as the markets open.